Hi there, and welcome to the Discipline of Discipleship, where we learn a little bit about the disciplines that are needed to become a disciple. I just want to give you a short reminder of some of the disciplines that we've looked at this week, especially as the atmosphere is intensifying. Now, I'm aware that there are many people out there that want Christians to fail and struggle in this season. And God is shaping us to be strong and those that glorify Him in this world. Man's chief end is to glorify God, and that is what we should be doing. But there's a way that we have to do that. And I'm so aware at the minute that there's a lot of division, a lot of wrong attitudes that are going on within the Christian community that need to be addressed, and that we need to get back to what it takes to really serve God. And he gave me a little word. I love acronyms, and he was reminding me this week what it takes to be his. Now, I want to be his more than anything else. I'm his treasured possession. I'm loved by him forever. I'm chosen by him. I get to call him a friend, and I will be with him as long as I breathe on this earth. But nothing more than that is what I want to do with my life. And I want to be owned by him. That takes a lot of things for me to do personally, and a lot of disciplines as well. But I want to be his. So I want to remind you of the three things that he gave me that I've touched on in previous weeks of Discipline of Discipleship that form the acronym his. Firstly, humility. Now, humility is so lost in so many Christians these days. And I'm not talking about somebody that's quiet and meek, although the meek will inherit the earth. We know that. But humility means to be totally dedicated to God, serving Jesus and trying to live like him in everything. And that means getting rid of all my fleshy desires, all the things that I do that do not glorify God, and become totally committed to him. You see, it says in Philippians that Jesus had the mind among him. He didn't see equality with God to be grasped, but he humbled himself and became a servant, offering himself to death, even death on a cross. That is humility. That is surrendering his lofty position of being so worthy of being on the throne, but so willing to be right with us, next to us. So humble beginnings in a stable, humbly coming to serve and rescue all of us. Do we see that in those around us? Do they give everything? Do they humble themselves? Do they become the lowest so that they can elevate others? That's a question I ask of myself, and we so desire to be humility. We don't want credit for what we do. Sometimes it's nice, but there are so many out there that just do this journey just for their own glory. They want to raise themselves up on a pedestal. They want people to notice just how great they're doing. But we need to have a discipline of humility. My friend and I, we used to be involved in a Christian musical that toured the country, and I do remember this thing that we had that we needed to remember all the time, that it was just like John the Baptist said, he must increase, I must decrease. We use the word phlomoi, Father, less of me, more of you. That should be a massive prayer for all of us. And then secondly, in the his, I, integrity. Are we who we are in the dark as well as in the light? Do you close your door and become somebody different? I used to be really encouraged when I was young as a speaker that as I went around local churches, people were amazed that the way that I presented myself from the pulpit was exactly the same as I would talk over coffee afterwards. That encourages me, because why be any different? Why be somebody that chases after the wind of every doctrine, that changes in circumstances? Integrity matters. It matters to God, and it matters to this world, that when people say they do not fear, they then do not live a life that demonstrates fear and worry. When they say do not worry, they then don't go around biting their nails all the time. That is integrity. And we need that so much. A church that exists for the broken world and then doesn't even care about what's going on behind each and every door in their community. Integrity is often also about saying that we love the world, but not loving them enough to pluck them from the fires of hell. That's a challenge. I'm not saying that as somebody that gets that right. But where is our integrity in this time? It's one thing to stand and say, do not fear. But then if everything you do demonstrates that you're a person living in fear, if you portray one way and then act like another, that is not integrity. And most of all, we are denying God and lying to Him just for the sake of saving face with others. It's not that we have to present every sin to everybody and every fall, but so quick to repent and so desiring to be pure in heart. Humility, integrity, and the S, what's needed more than anything from Christians in this time, could go both ways: surrender or sacrifice. There's a song that I used to be able to sing that said, like, "We'll put myself on the altar. I will offer up my life." Really? How well have I done that? Have I surrendered everything? There's a funny video as well that you can see on YouTube. Honest songs. It says, "I surrender some." Not "I surrender all." If you're surrendering all, wow. We would see many, many people fully consecrated to God. But yet, the sacrifice and the surrender is not evident. Our desire is to feed and look after number one most of the time, and then maybe a circle of close friends around that. We're not going out to sacrifice everything and surrender all for the sake of the gospel. That is a discipline that we need. Now, surrendering means to get rid of the fleshiness, to allow God to shape, mould, refine, and become so much more like Him in everything that we do. And then when He speaks, through the Word, or maybe a nudge through the Spirit, we will do whatever it takes and whatever He asks of us. We will give everything. That's what a sacrifice is. That's what surrendering is. There's no little holes, little worldliness to get in. So, humility, integrity, surrender. And through that, we will truly become His. No other way. Actually, that's a great reminder, isn't it? Because humility, integrity, and surrender is trusting and obeying. And as the song says, trust and obey, for there's no other way to be happy in Jesus but to trust and obey. The disciplined disciple wants to be His. It takes humility, integrity, and surrender. But those are disciplines of a disciple.